Well, okay. We'll bring you that interview as soon as we get them. But let's continue before I bring to you some of the other candidates' interviews. With what we have seen on ground, it seems that some other parties, apart from the APC, is the one who say they have lost a member, a supporter today. In the past few days also, we saw the Labour Party also say they lost a member, a supporter. This seems not to be affecting only one party. But in the long run, how do you think the security operatives can effectively tackle this issue of violence in the state?
Well, I think that there are suspicions in Ekiti State, particularly with the security forces. I think because of the state of the nation, people don't seem to trust who is giving orders to the security forces in Nigeria. I'm aware that recently they came up to say that they will redeploy all the 24 DPOs in the state before the election, meaning that they are going to bring new DPOs to into the state, for the conduct of the election. And the implication of that is also that, to a large extent, it means that they also agree that something is not right with the current police officers who are in the state. I think that what can help us as Nigerians is the security forces, they are there to protect the Nigerian citizens. And they're expected to do that without any form of bias. They're not supposed to take orders from one party against the other one. It's important for them to be fair in the conduct of their own activities to ensure that we have a free and fair elections. So I think that people are worried about the sincerity of the loyalty and also the sincerity of the security forces. And you can see that play out. Even today, people were asking questions. What would make somebody to shoot at that kind of rally? When people are sweeping floor and things are, and the next thing is tear gas. And so I think that there's a need for us to have security forces that are fair, that are also doing their work as they're expected to do their work, as protecting people's lives in Nigeria. I think we need that more than ever before for this coming elections. All
right, thank you so very much. We'll take a short break again, and when we return, we'll be looking at some of the top contenders in the race of the Ekiti governorship election, and we'll talk more. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Politics Today on Channels Television. We are going to be taking a closer look at some of the top contenders in this governorship race in Ekiti. We're looking at three major ones: the APC, the Labour Party, and the PDP. Alphabetically, we start with the APC. It's the incumbent governor, Dr. Fayemi. And he took over from engineer Segun Oni after he won a rerun in 2009 when he challenged the 2007 election on the premise that it was marred by widespread irregularities. After 3 years, the election of Mr. Segun Oni was thrown out, and Dr. Akiode-Afolabi was declared the duly elected governor of Ekiti State. I sat with Dr. Fayemi in Ado-Ekiti and started by asking him on his performance and why he's seeking a re-election.
Governance is a continuum. The work is not going to finish. Yes, I have delivered substantially on what I promised. Social security benefit for the elderly, youth empowerment scheme, free education, free health care for the vulnerable segments of the population, gender equality and women's empowerment, tourism and environmental sustainability. There are aspects of this where we have not fully delivered. Ekiti was in a state of anarchy when I became governor here. And it was even worse when I started running for office, because what led me into running for office here in 2006 was that Ekiti was a state of one week, one trouble. It was assassination, it was brigandage, it was criminality in governance. That was what led to impeachment of, interestingly, one of the candidates in this current election. in 2006.
Your party, at some public functions and rallies, we've heard them use the word rig and roast. And your party leader, Asiwaju Tinubu, we've heard him talk about the issue of rig, if they rig, roast them. Do you subscribe to this particular opinion?
I can contextualize the use of the term rig and roast. And there is something that we call cause and effect. What Asiwaju Tinubu said was not that people should be roasted. Why would you want to worry about being roasted if you did not rig an election? And it was not his terminology. As a matter of fact, rig and roast dated back to the 2009 rerun election right here in Ekiti. And I believe you were here for that election. It didn't come from Asiwaju Tinubu, so why blame him for replicating something that is pretty well known around here in Ekiti? People are very clear about what they consider to be their rights. I am not violent. Asiwaju is not, to the best of my knowledge, a violent person. And he would not wish an orgy of violence to be visited on Ekiti.
We know Chief Ayofayoshe he enjoys a lot of grassroots support. Are you scared of him in any form?
There is no basis for scaremongering or fear as far as my brother Ayofayoshe is concerned. Of course, he indulges in a lot of cheap populism, and that's something that is good for entertainment. And a lot of people love entertainment. But when it really comes down to brass tacks, what would define this election is character and performance. Ekiti people would ask themselves, what is my image of the person I want to be my leader?
Well, that is the APC candidate and the incumbent governor, Dr. Akiode-Afolabi. I took him up on a lot of issues, but those are the few questions we're putting up for now. Well, let me come to you. From those particular words and the interview, what can you make of it based on that candidate?
Well, I think he started off by talking about what he has done, rolling out his programs, and what he feels that he has done for the Ekiti people. Because I think one of the problems we are having with our elections in Nigeria is also that oftentimes our elections are not issue-based. People talk more about personality, they talk about themselves, they talk about their position. They don't give us anything to catch upon and say that we want to vote for. So it's also good that one of the things that we're seeing in Ekiti is people competing amongst themselves, also competing about ideas. These are things that I can do to better the people in Ekiti. So it started off with that, which I think that's quite commendable. But however, when we get to discussion about rig and roast, I think those are the issues that bother people in Ekiti State presently. It seems all of them, not even, there's no exception, all the political parties, they use words like this. And this kind of words can be very provocative. And also there are words that also scare people to think, oh, so what's going to happen? Is it a do or die affair? What are we going to come up with this kind of election? Word like roast, we know what it means. Rig and roast, if you rig, probably will kill you and things. So language like that, I think there is a need for us to watch the kind of language, especially in a country that is already very tensed up with our security situation. I think that the politicians should try as much as possible to speak in the right manner to the people in such a way that it will not provoke people and it will not also further lead to. I don't think that there is any need for us to start talking about rig and roast or wet air and all that kind of things that we used to have in the past. I think we need to. That's not too good for as a campaign slogan. I don't think it is good. I don't think it is right. I don't think we need that.
All right.